Okay, hello everybody, hold on. Hello everybody. That's right, I'm still working on this game and nobody can tell me not to. Anyway, I don't need most of these things. I do have somewhat of a problem with this game. And, well, I have a lot of problems with this game, actually. First and foremost, it's not particularly, fun or good to play. If I load the game, you'll see what I mean. But if you've seen other footage of this game, you will also know what I mean. It's a puzzle-like click-em-up. So you don't actually have to do any thinking, you just click on stuff. And that can be good if, like me, you're tired a lot of the time and you don't particularly like having to focus on things or do things that require energy. So it's good in that way, but as a game it doesn't actually present any challenge. But that's beside the point. I'm in way too deep to fix that part of this game. I have another problem with this game, and it is a reasonably major problem, and that is the performance. Well, there's one bug which may or may not even... Yeah, there it is. This guy. He shouldn't have that white border. He shouldn't. And he does. And as far as I can tell, there's not really a convenient way to fix that. Well, there is. I'm just being profoundly lazy. It's an issue with the moving jellies. You see, if I highlight a group of these things, like that, and a moving one gets highlighted, it'll just keep that. And it really shouldn't. Also worth noting is that you can still click those groups of jellies, and they're not all highlighted. What I need to do is make it update or check this highlighting rule. However, whatever bizarre and quite likely unholy way that I've implemented this particular feature, I need to make that actually update with the jellies, so I'll do that. And in fact, that probably won't even be that difficult, because that's not the major issue I have with this game, so... Anyway, I really hope that music isn't distracting or too loud. I can't tell what the volume is like. I can hear it out of my headphones. I'll turn it down a little bit. So I need to go take a look at the moving jellies. And I truly don't know. Well, it would be in hovered, I suppose. And let me just see, when is this actually... That's not good, is it? Because I think it gets the signal from the board, and then it just plugs that into the actual jelly script. I mean, how can you tell that I did not make this game with a whole lot of foresight? And also this screen doesn't look very good. But in defense of that fairly ugly defeat screen, I would say that maybe that's the just penalty for losing a round of possibly the easiest game on Steam, is to have to see a particularly unpleasant defeat screen. I don't know. Either way, I do need to figure this out. Regardless of that, possibly it wouldn't be right to just make it so that every time it moves it gets unhovered, because it could move out of a group, or it could move into a group, and it would change the connectivity of that group. I think I could just leave it in. I could just leave it in because it doesn't impact the user experience essentially at all. And I don't have to fix that if I don't want to. So let me take a look at the board. The actual board. Because I do have one of those somewhere. Okay, hovered board. So, hovered. So let's see, this is the logic. So when the board is hovered at some particular coordinate, it gets the jelly at that coordinate, and it simply hovers that jelly. And when it hovers a jelly, it checks all of the adjacent jellies. And it hovers those as well. So, okay, what about if every time a jelly moves, if it's hovered, maybe right in the moment before it moves, I'll unhover it and then hover it again. Would that work? No. Just unhover it. Why the hell would I re-hover it? In fact, that might be the wrong thing entirely. I mean, look at this, it's getting fairly messy now, because these moving jellies can kind of break up these groups. And then there's bits highlighted that shouldn't still be highlighted. And it doesn't even change when the jellies themselves move to different coordinates. Because I don't want to unhover a jelly that should be hovered. Let me go on to the first level now that doesn't have that time limit, I don't think. So I definitely don't want to... Well, this one doesn't have the moving jellies. What the hell am I doing? I don't want to unhover a jelly that should be hovered. I don't want to purposefully hover a jelly that shouldn't be hovered. Now, I don't think that's an issue at this point. The unhovering might be an issue. And it's all to do with the moving jellies. Because as the moving jellies move through groups, they can kind of chop up the board a little bit. And that's really not good when you think about it. Okay, let me think. So when the jelly moves, what is this connected to? Okay, again, this is dealt with by the board. So, what if I swap jelly? Might be something in there. Swap jellies? That sounds like something... Move. I don't... Oh, hold on, what was that? Move. Swap jelly, yeah. So it just connects to swap jelly in the board. And that's what happens every time the jelly gets swapped. So at this point, what actually needs to happen? What do I want to not happen? If the jelly is hovered, I don't want it to just move with reckless abandon. I think perhaps... Well, how does the board get hovered anyway? Oh, it's using these signals, isn't it? These horrible, wretched signals per each button, so I will actually open an instance of the board, and here are all the buttons, laid out like this. How dreadful. And there's no easy way to trigger this signal in as natural a way as just having the cursor hover over it. I don't necessarily know which... I'll just look it up. Is there any way to purposefully trigger the mouse entered? Go control node. Check mouse entered signal. Oh, that isn't going to be right. Because unless I know exactly where the cursor is in relation to each of these, I'm not going to be able to say exactly which of those is hovered or unhovered. Oh, this is not too easy, because the only information appears. The cursor only actually sends any information, and I thought I was so smart when I was doing this, because it cuts down on the amount of information I actually have to keep in memory. But the cursor only actually sends any information when it's moving between these tiles. Obviously that doesn't matter. I suppose it unhovers and rehovers very, very quickly, so quickly you can't even see the interstitial point. But you saw that there. Okay, I clicked too many now. I'll go back to the stage with the moving jellies. Even though that has a time limit, it's okay. I'll just restart the level if I have to. Let's take a look. Moving jellies, moving jellies. Which one was it? That one. So here they are. So that's another interesting thing. If you're very quick, you can kind of do the same thing, because it might actually use ray casts to distribute the hovering effect. Oh god, that isn't good. Ray casts. It uses ray casts. So if you're very quick, you can do that. Well, not that exactly. What can you do? This. Take a look at that. So the rest of the group isn't hovered. And there isn't necessarily a good way to... Oh, why did I do this? There's no good way to make this work in the way that I want it to work without actually recreating the whole system. And the functionality is there. The functionality is there. The functionality is perfectly fine. But it's not just about swapping individual jellies. It's about the fact that this hover state only exists at the very moment that I move my cursor in here. Then after that, it's completely unknown. Everything about the cursor in relation to the board may as well not exist. And I could do some mathematics to figure out what is the global position of the cursor, and I'll put it into the correct place based on that. Hey, maybe I should do that. I don't think the board is going to move around that much, and it would be simple modulus arithmetic. I mean, you know how it is. If you want to figure out where the mouse cursor is and which cell of this grid it's going to be, it probably wouldn't be too difficult. But even if I could do that... Even if I could do that, it wouldn't necessarily solve that problem. Because fundamentally, because of the fact that it raycasts, and there's no way to check if it should be hovered, if there is a persistent reason, like this guy, if I coded this a bit better, I would say this particular green jelly that I'm hovering right now is hovered, and he's highlighted, and the other jellies, if they needed to, they could query through the whole jelly group, which I've done, that's fine, and they could say, because this jelly is highlighted, I should be highlighted too. But that isn't possible. But it doesn't matter, because very few people who are playing this game are actually going to be inspecting the jellies like this. They're not going to be bothered if it flickers a little bit here and there. It's not relevant. It's not relevant to the point of the game. It's not relevant to the style of the game, even. So I would make a good case that I will just leave that where it is, because it does not need to be fixed. It is arguably broken, so I can't say if it isn't broken, don't fix it, but it's not broken enough for me to need to fix it, so I'll just leave it as it is. And you know, that's actually not even the main issue that I have with this game. It's not ideal, really, not ideal. First of all, let me just make sure nothing weird. Okay, so let me just take a look at the win screen here, and when that happens, it changes the scene to this thing. Now I'm just going to do a Google search for how to change scene faster. What is the best way to change scene? Because what I think I might have to do is somewhat change the way that I do the levels. Instead of changing the whole scene over to level 1 here, I could potentially just spawn level 1. I would have to hide the parallax background and everything else, but it would be a lot faster. So, first of all, I'm going to be very stupid. I'm just going to do it in a tremendously naive way, which is most likely not going to work, but I just want to see what would happen as a starting place to make a dreadful mess, actually. So I'll just load. I can't even do a preload here. It has to be a full-on load. That. And I'm going to instance this because we are still in Godot 3, we're not in Godot 4 just yet. I'm just going to add it. So this is most likely not going to work, but it's worth a try. Actually, I'm going to add it to the canvas layer just to... Okay. To the canvas layer just to really make sure that it will at least be visible, even though it's going to be glitchy and weird and you're going to be able to spawn other levels while you're in one. I just want to see if it's even faster to do it this way, so... Fascinating. It kind of is. That was quick. Of course, the issue now... Actually, this is kind of sick. I like this. And it does that. Of course, this part still resets the whole scene, so it doesn't actually fix anything, but... Alright, so what would it actually take to get this a bit better? Because it does spawn the level. And it doesn't crash. You can win, apparently. I'd be interested to try it on somewhat of a more complicated level. And yeah, this should be fine. Let's try this one, I don't know. So it does that. And I need this background to be blurred. I'm not playing through this whole thing. I already played through that level like 2 minutes ago. I'm not entirely sure why I just put that back on. But I'll try with the whale level instead. And yeah, you can see what I mean about the particles taking about 10 seconds. So I must have taken the pre-process off already. But it doesn't matter. Here we are anyway. So essentially, I need to change the way... I mean, you can still click around on stuff by the looks of it. And you can most likely now launch other levels as well. So I can have several of these levels all working at the same... That isn't looking right. Because they're colliding with each other and they're glitching out. You shouldn't be able to spawn more than one level at a time. Controversial, I know, but that is 100% true. And I think there might be a simple way to do this. Because I am in the canvas layer. I can just get a big old rectangle. I mean, in fact, I could very, what's the word? What is the word, actually? Faithfully is the word. Replicate the current in-game look by just having this this thing. So this will block mouse input, obviously. Didn't mean to move it that way. This will obviously, it'll block mouse input. It'll hide everything, including the level explain, and it'll only show up when that level is launched. And then all I have to do is adjust the windscreen. Hell, I should change the windscreen anyway. It looks ugly as sin. But then all I have to do is enable it. That shouldn't be too hard. So again, this is somewhat of a one-way operation right now, but it should be good enough just to see if this works and if this does what I want and how, as I said, faithfully this recreates the version of the game which I just decimated. Let's go down here. Let's take a look. Okay, that looks perfect. I would not be able to tell that this is not the game exactly as it was. So now I can go back over here, and I know, actually, I don't know anything. Let me just see where this guy gets spawned. Just straight up top level, no problems. Alright. This will take some bug testing, actually, because this feels sketchy. This feels like there is something I'm messing up here. But I know what to do. Just that, to be honest. Just that. Now this will not actually recapitulate the mask which I had. So shoot. That is suck. That is not going to be fun. I might have to do this individually for every single. Oh no. Do I though? Because I know it's always. Here we go. Okay, one level up. Another level. It should be just that. It should be that. I think that should be all I have to do. Let me check. This is likely to crash. You should never do this kind of thing. But it's my game. I'm the only developer. I can do it if I want to. So let's go here. Again, looks wonderful. Really, really good. And there we go. It loads. Now, does this work? It does. It works perfectly. And no lag spikes. One thing I would like to do is to deselect. So I can actually do this in here. I'll just do deselect. Now it should be even better. I mean, it's definitely not going to be worse. I shouldn't say that. I think now that's going to be the one thing which is going to crash my game horribly, and you know. But probably not. I mean, this looks exactly as it did before, minus the lag spike, so I'm not complaining. And again, you have that little issue with the persistent highlighting, but it's not a problem. The game, it would just introduce other intended behavior. At this point, with this kind of technical debt, like charitably not calling it technical ineptitude. The real question is, though, does it unlock them still? Because it may not actually unlock them. So it only calls reveal levels in ready. So yeah, that is a bit of an issue. And again, I want to do this without messing anything up. But let's just do check. So we go to the worm and we say reveal levels. We go to the whale. We say presumably the exact same thing. I don't think the spiral has anything to do with this. I'll leave that one alone. But now I should just be able to. Okay. So that's the level. That's the canvas layer. That's gotta be our lovely root node. So, does that even work? Let's find out. Yeah, that's a big question. I actually don't even know if I've used that notation in my life. I mean, we will find out, but let's do the very first level. Won't take long to finish because there's only a few jellies here, which is good. There we go. Told you that was literally like 7 seconds. And again, it doesn't crash. No errors. So it did find the function and it must have checked the unlocks. There's only one really perfect way to check that though, and it is to reset my data. Now we'll check that level 1 again. If that is the whole thing, I am gonna be very proud, because I thought that was gonna take me like 2 hours, a lot of bug fixes, but that was actually perfectly painless. I'm not able to click anything behind it because I have that mask, so let's just do this. Easy enough. I kind of want to remake this windscreen. I mean, doesn't this look terrible? But hey, it works. It works absolutely perfectly. And you can play through it, no lag spikes, nothing weird at all. Possibly it could make this part run a tiny bit slower on low-end machines, but it's a trade-off between that and the lag spikes, so I don't know which is better. Actually, it probably wouldn't, because these things, they do have visibility rects if they are occluded by another thing. Ooh, is that true though? I don't know. They do definitely have visibility rects. I don't know if they are necessarily occluded by control nodes in that way, but I don't think there's any way for me to check. I highly doubt this is... I do have a spike in my draw calls. That makes sense though. Video memory, that makes sense though. So probably a little bit of an extra load, but that's good enough. And that just there was my main issue with this whole game, that particular lag spike. And now I have a new issue with this whole game, which is the fact that the losing screen, especially, and the winning screen, they both look kind of bad. They have this really horrible particles effect. It just doesn't look good. I need this user interface look. Something that actually looks good. Can't really think of how it should look, but I'll think of that at some point. I'm really glad this works though. I should check it with the whale as well, so I'll try and play through here. I should really get some debug tools to... What am I talking about? I have debug tools. I need... Actually, where do I have it? Yeah? That, I guess? Well, it's not going to work because I have save data, you fool. But I'll reset my save data. It doesn't even give you a yes or no prompt when you hit that reset button. Isn't that crazy? Anyway. Okay, that didn't work at all. Wonderful. So, well, I know why. It's because it's getting its data from here and not anywhere else. Oh well. Now I need to reset my save data. Now if I do it again, it should put me straight to level 11. So I may have to play some or 0 levels, I don't know. Let's find out. Or it'll just crash, that's possible. No, it actually does neither one. Oh, for God's sake, it's all... This is the 3rd time I'm changing... I should actually I should get good at actually making proper developer tools that I can just use and it will actually do the thing that I want instead of just changing bits of code. Now if I press reset save data, it's going to put that 11 into my save file. Please. Yeah, there we go. So I haven't actually completed this one yet, but once I do... Actually, why even do that? Why don't I just... While I'm at it, I've played this so many times, I don't want to sit here just playing the same level over and over. I'll be fine. Actually, that is strange. Must be that. I have to be careful with what I'm changing here. I have to be really careful. So I'm going to make some weird default... Why is it not working? I'm so confused. So... Huh? Whatever. I'll just play this stupid thing. I don't need to... I can undo all of this weird debug changes now because I have my save file in the right position. It just means I have to actually play through this level, which is fine. I don't mind playing my own video game. It's just that I've played this game a lot, and you know, I'm probably not going to try to cultivate an esports scene for the competitive Jelly players, but it's reasonably satisfying. Finally. Now this should, with any luck, unlock. Now this is another good question. What are those? Okay, they just disappear. Now we unlock these. Does this work? Haha. Just as well that I checked, because it seems it actually doesn't. Fascinating. Quite interesting. So, what's up with the board, I suppose. The arena. How is it detecting the player? How we doing, guy? Why are you not moving? The mouse is not captured. So why is the mouse not captured? Is a good question. Is this guy doing the capturing? It looks like that is true. So why not? Why not? Why is it also not changing color? Something about this is very wrong. Very wrong indeed. Well, that shouldn't be an issue. This is peculiar though. What is calling mouse entered, pressed and exited signals? So mouse capture, here it is. I can change the Z index of that. Doesn't seem to make any difference. So the mouse is not captured. If the mouse was captured, maybe it would be working. It is spawning jellies. So it knows that it's not won and it's not lost. It's not breaking the jelly limit. Mouse captured equals true. Mouse capture, mouse entered. So here it is, mouse entered. How big is this? Anywhere on the screen. Anywhere on the screen. Okay. Visible collision shapes. Let me just reset then. I suspect it might be something because the camera is no longer focused on the origin. It's now kind of offset about 2000 pixels to the right. But let's see. Yeah. So I cannot see my lovely collision. Oh, actually I can. It just doesn't care. It is just not doing it. And surely that's not because of my mouse filter on or the thing in the background. Surely not. That would be crazy. Unless... What if I did that? Oh no. See, that's not good. That's not good at all. That's not good at all. That means that my... What happens if I do truly disable this? Can I click on things? I can. I think I can actually. I think I'm clicking on things right now. I think I'm clicking on that. What happens? Can I click on... I knew it. I can actually open other levels inside my level. And then whatever the hell that is. Yeah, bad stuff, bad stuff. Okay. So we need another solution here, to say the least. But that's weird, isn't it? That's very strange. Again, a z-index. That's gotta help. The only thing I can think of right now. Is it possible that my bad design is catching up with me? No. No way. Okay, here we are. Doesn't seem right. Does not seem right. I'm still clicking on stuff. I need this intact. There's no two ways about it. I need that intact. The real question is, let me check on the remote view to see what's actually happening inside my scene. It is in front. It's absolutely in front. I can do that. It does not care. It doesn't make a damn bit of difference. It doesn't care. So why is it not interacting properly with my mouse capture? So I can do that. I can say Z is not relative, and it still doesn't matter. Even though it's on top. It's actually on top. And it's all about this thing. It's all about whether this thing works. Because apparently, any control node takes focus away from the area. So that's going to be a pain because this is the way that it is in every single one of these maps. And it's because it's a collision object. What if I changed it into a control node? Control nodes have mouse entered, mouse exited signals. I wouldn't have to do anything particularly different. Why should it even be an area? Oh, this feels like such a bad idea. This feels very sketchy. Let me open my version control for a second, just to make sure. What even is my... Hold on. Okay, I don't even have inversion control, which makes this even more sketchy. I'm doing things that I really probably shouldn't do, but it's the only way that I can fix this. So, control node. Make it big. That guy literally doesn't even need to be here. I can delete him. Everything else should be the same. This, from my understanding, should already work because it can already pass the mouse entered signals. Let me just check the mouse mode actually. No, should be good. So this should already work. There we go. I'm not clicking anything behind it. I think it was like that before. I have to keep the cursor inside the bounds. Okay. I think this works. I think this works just fine. Keyboard still works. Nothing is particularly weird. I'm not clicking anywhere else. So the next thing is that the windscreen here. This guy. Not updated. Not updated to the new way of doing things. I need to just take a little bit of code here. Just do that. That should be it. Now if that glitches out, I'll have a closer look, but that should be it. And with any luck, that's absolutely solved the lag spikes issue. I'm not sure about this though. What happened here? Actually, yeah, what is up with that? Why do I have it like that? Because it's true, even though I have, yeah. Okay, yeah, why don't I just make this the whole gosh darn screen? You know what I mean? Because it's not like there is a part of the screen that I think, oh, you should be able to click over here. To be honest, it's silly anyway. Oh, actually, yeah, because when you win, it may try to wrest control. It may crash when I win, come to think of it. That's a good consideration here. No? No, it works. Errors? Okay, sure, whatever. Okay. And it works. Now let's open a second one. And this one's broken because I now need to do this change for every single one of these. So, okay, whatever. Easy enough. Signal's already connected. Perfect. Let's do it again. Delete this guy. Paste this guy. Just put him right there. Wheel 4. Delete this guy. Why did I ever make it an area 2D? I don't know. I don't know. And this guy. Delete that. Paste it in. I really hope I didn't just make a mistake. I'm fairly sure. No, it should be fine. And this. Stick it in here. Not there. Here. And this. Alright. And this. Okay. This is actually a lot easier. As with many things, actually, the hardest part is getting over the initial momentum to start doing them. If I spent as much time actually doing these kind of tedious tasks as I do about thinking about how much I don't want to do them, I would probably get a lot more done. I don't think that's even a game development thing. I think that's just a me as a person thing. But okay, let me restart this. There we go. Open little. Why isn't it working? That's not good. Oh no. I thought so sure it was just going to work out of the box, and it just doesn't. Why? Are the signals connected? They damn well should be. Not common parent is true. What the hell are you talking about? What are you talking about? What? Mouse capture. What? This should work, though. What are you talking about? What's different? Nothing is different. Same signals. Hold on, don't need that for a minute. Same signals. Exactly the same signals. In fact, it's connecting to exactly the same script, so it should be fixed. You know what's an even bigger brain move? You know what's an even bigger brain move? I never don't want it to be following the cursor. That just fixes everything, I think. Mouse captured is always true. because I don't know what I was doing in development. I needed some flag to cap... Oh... No, it should still work because I can change it programmatically now and not in the context of moving... Yeah, there we go, that works. And again, because as I just cut myself off from saying, I don't know. I just want to make sure it works. That's the most important thing. Make these guys spawn a little bit faster. I mean, it's random, so you can occasionally spontaneously get these empty zones, but... Or then you get a little burst of them, so... Yeah, it is just a bit random. But yeah, so I need to see when the round is finished, if it still does the exact same... the thing goes white and you stop being able to control it. Because I don't want there to be any space on the screen where you're not controlling this little scribble thing. So I don't need to use this. Like, I think what it was is that I wanted the cursor to actually be captured into the game window. Of course, now I see that's a bit superfluous and it isn't that fun, but at some point I thought that was a good idea. Almost there, just one more, there we go. And it does work exactly as it should. And just to make sure this applies to every one of these levels, not just that one. There we go. It seems to. Okay, wonderful. So that's both of those completed. We had a fairly superfluous change, a good change. It still was worth making this change because it shouldn't have been an area at all. It doesn't make any sense, and it's not blocking anything. So yeah, it's very good, and that should pretty much fix the main issues I had. I think that's fairly ugly. The defeat screens, I only have one of those for everything, and it also needs a bit of a... There we go. How can I, I'll do it another time. I can't be bothered to just test that. I know it's gonna work. Let's make sure, yeah. There we go. So hi, there we go. That should be the main issue I had all fixed. And I can rest easy now, knowing that my beloved player base will be able to enjoy this game without any unsightly blemishes upon their performance. And yeah, that'll do. So, thanks for watching, and if you watch this, I no longer know my target audience is me, and even I don't watch these. So, yeah, goodbye.